And here we are. The Booster Course Pass has finally come to an end, and what a wild ride it's been. We've gotten some great courses over the course of this thing, and we've gotten a few stinkers, but hey, 48 total courses and only 6 bad ones? I'll take it. After a decade, we have finally reached the end of Mario Kart 8. But does Wave 6 serve as the finale we've been hoping for? Let's find out. Starting off the Acorn Cup, we have Rome Avanti, which is probably my favorite city course, at least in terms of Mario Kart Tour. I don't think that's the case here in 8 Deluxe, though. Not to say it's bad, this course is still very nice, but it feels a little bit basic at times, as we're back to some fairly standard city streets, even if they do mix things up a bit with the Colosseum, serving as a great beginning and end to the race, as you go through it at the very beginning of Lap 1, as well as the earlier portion of Lap 3. The chain chomps there in Lap 3 have been nerfed a little bit from their tour iteration, but not enough for me to care. The second lap is also quite neat, with you basically just going in one big loop. And beginning and end of the second lap, you can run into players who are much farther behind you if you're ahead, or much farther ahead of you if you're behind. Not sure why they routed it like that, but who am I to question that? Nintendo's routed quite a few of the city tracks in ways that people didn't expect, which I say good for them. And of course the music has gotten a pretty nice upgrade from its tour version. Again, already a pretty strong theme over there, and just given some minor touch-ups here in 8. Visually, this course also got a pretty good glow-up, so long as you don't look too much at any of the plants. I think Rome Avanti takes the new spot of my third favorite city track in 8 Deluxe. Still a very nice course, but there are better ones. I also am not sure how I feel about this as the wave opener, but it's still a very nice course regardless. Now, why are you here? I was hoping for Dino Dino Jungle. Jokes aside, DK Mountain is up next, and it's alright. Being completely honest, I've always thought this course was just kind of mediocre. Not a bad course by any means, but I just never really got the hype behind it. Is it a fun course? Yeah, but for 8 Deluxe, I would have rather we gotten Dino Dino Jungle, and that's not just for my prediction to be correct, I just prefer Dino Dino over DK Mountain. Heck, on release, DK Mountain was actually ranked as my least favorite course of the wave. Spoiler alert, it has moved up a bit, but it's still in the lower half. The course itself is just fine. The ending bit is a bit tricky, especially in 200cc, but who doesn't love a bit of a challenge? Especially considering we still have the gap cut. I remember people were freaking out on Twitter when the trailer dropped and they saw that fence there, but nope. 10 minutes after the wave comes out, I already see clips of people making the gap cut. There are just 2 things that hold it back for me. Number 1 is I don't really think the jungle section looks all that great compared to the mountain itself. Again, an issue of Wave 6 not having that good looking plants because it's part of the Booster Course Pass. The other is what I like to call the Amsterdam problem, in that the only thing I find bad about the entirety of Wave 6 is the music on this course. Alright, now I know that was a little bit of complaining there, but I'm still happy we got this course, don't get me wrong. Even if I would prefer Dino Dino Jungle, I'm still happy DK Mountain got to make it in. Daisy Circuit. My third favorite circuit track in the series, and the course that caused me to scrap a video that was 80% done. I'm really happy this course made it in. This was one of the best looking courses on the Wii in my opinion, so I've been hoping it would make its way into 8 Deluxe someday, and I got what I wanted. I'm not sure how to feel about some of the changes that it got though. The ramp at the end of the tunnel feels kind of pointless if you ask me. The boost panels around the lighthouse I guess were just added to make that turn go faster because they made it quite large. Although I'm not a fan of them putting a cutout in front of the shortcut and turning it into off-road. I do like that they added a glider at the end, though. That was a perfect change. I also really like how this, and one other course we'll see later, both have confetti thrown around their starting lines as, at least how I see it, a way to celebrate the final part in this decade we've spent with this game. This course's addition also means that for the first time ever, we have an entire Nitro Cup from one game appearing as retros in the same game, outside of Tour. As now, Mario Kart Wii's entire Star Cup is here. I also don't really think this course made sense for the final wave considering it's a circuit, but at least it's one of the better ones. And you know what? This isn't even the last Wii course we're going to be talking about today. The new music arrangement we got here is also just heavenly. I don't know who decided to throw flute in there, but give them a raise. They deserve it. The only real, I guess, complaint I have with this course is it feels kind of weird that it comes after DK Mountain, considering how much simpler it is. I would have personally put it as the second course of the Cup and DK Mountain as the third, but oh well. I'm still happy that we got this course regardless, even if we did lose something else, which I'll talk about some other time. Piranha Plant Cove, a course that I'm still not entirely sure how I forgot existed when I did my initial prediction video, but it's here now. Although, Nintendo, you did a little bit of an oopsie here. This is a tour course. You forgot the tour label. Don't worry, I got you. Now, I've already played this course in Tour, so I was expecting it to be good because it is there, and surprising no one, it's good here too. The big surprise, at least for me, was that it wasn't sectioned. I felt like there was no way they made this just laps like every other tour course, minus LA, but nope, it's just laps, and each lap is one of the variants. Lap 1, you've got the pier, the singular Piranha Plant that this course gets its name from, and the big jump into the water. Lap 2, you've got more of the ruins above water, and lap 3, which, fun fact, Piranha Plant Cove 3 is the only course in the entire series to take place fully underwater. You get to go past all sorts of sunken ships and whatnot. Musically, this course is also pretty nice, and didn't really change too much from the tour version, as it was already fine there. The one thing they did change, though, that I think stands out a lot, is this course actually has a unique front-running beat compared to every other course in the game. You know, I think Piranha Plant Cove may just take the spot of my second favorite tour course in 8 Deluxe. I also think it served as a perfect ending for the Acorn Cup, and trust me when I say the Spiny Cup is just as good. Well, it wouldn't be the final cup of the game if it didn't start with the final city course, Madrid Drive. You know the saying, save the best for last? Well, in this case, they saved the second best for last, because this course is actually really good. Honestly, if you remember what I said about Singapore Speedway back in my Wave 4 review, most of that applies here as well. Great design, great atmosphere, great music. The only issue I have with it is the sections with alternate music are too short, and there's 2 of them this time. The stadium and the museum barely last any time, especially in 200cc. Also, a bit of a fun music fact about this course. Since you only go through the stadium on lap 3, the only ways you can hear the non-final lap version of that theme is either by driving the course backwards or in the jukebox. Like Daisy Circuit, this course also got confetti thrown around the starting line, again, signifying the end of this decade-long game. 2 fairly interesting additions they made to this version of the course are what I can only really describe as a long cut during the glider section where you go around the monument for a couple of more coins. I don't see the point of it, but hey, you know what? It's there. The second being that in the plaza, you can actually drive through where the pedestrians are sitting. Again, it's not optimal, but it's kind of neat they added it. This course also has some pretty interesting routing going on, as looking at the variants in Tour and how they were laid out in 8, they're backwards. We start with Madrid 3, then have 2, and end with 1. And you know, I think Madrid Drive was a very nice opener for the Spiny Cup and a perfect fit for Wave 6. Next up, we have the final tour course, Piranha Plant Pipeline. This course is just kind of alright, nothing too special about it if you ask me, and... What? We didn't get Piranha Plant Pipeline? They instead replaced it with an equally mediocre 3DS track? Okay then. So yes, instead of giving us all 16 of Tour's Nitro tracks, Nintendo decided to pull one last surprise on us, and instead, they just swapped it out with Rosalina's Ice World. As for why they did this, I don't know. And I'm a little bit upset now because in the video that I had to cancel because of Daisy Circuit's announcement, I came to the conclusion that Rosalina's Ice World was the most likely candidate for the mystery course of Wave 6. So, I technically ended up being correct here. I'm gonna be honest, this was my least favorite of Mario Kart 7's Nitro courses, so while I was happy that I was correct about predicting it, I wasn't too excited initially upon seeing it get in. After playing it though, yeah, it's pretty nice. It got a lot of improvements both visually and musically, and the new half-pipes that were added feel like they always should have been there, it's just that Mario Kart 7 didn't have half-pipes. The new shortcut at the end is also pretty nice, I just wish I had known that it was off-road before I attempted it for the first time. I don't really have too much else to say about this course, it's just kind of there. It's not too special, but at the same time, I'm not going to be complaining to play on it like I was back in 7. Guys, I can't believe I'm saying this, but they did it. They gave us a SNES course that's not good, but amazing. Actual elevation, good usage of anti-gravity, fun shortcuts, and to top it off, it actually looks like it can fit in the base game. I know that earlier I mentioned that courses like Moonview Highway or GBA Snowland were the best improved in 8 Deluxe. No. That's SNES Bowser Castle 3, and it's not even close. This course has a ton of opportunities for extra items as well, as if you stay on the left side the entire time during the multiple paths portion, yeah, you can maybe get another item, but you gotta watch out for the lava. And if you can somehow manage to stay on top of the walls the entire time, you get not one, but 2 extra items. You know, in the lead up to this wave's release, I was actually more excited for this course than I was for Wii Rainbow Road. You can tell Nintendo put everything they had into this course. From the gameplay upgrades, to the visual upgrades, to the music. Oh my god, the music for this course. Nintendo. Where was all this with the last SNES course? If you just give every future SNES remake this treatment, people won't be so upset when they see one. Come on. Were you expecting anything else here? We've all known since day one that the Spiny Cup and the Booster Course Pass as a whole would end with Wii Rainbow Road, and now it's finally here. The question is, does it live up to expectations? Yes! I know sometimes I'll exaggerate when I'm talking about courses for, dramatic effect, but I am fully serious when I say this course is completely perfect. They managed to fully recapture the magic of Wii Rainbow Road, even down to the meteor effect when you fall off. That's how you know they cared when making this course. It's also nice to finally be able to drive over the gaps in the middle of the rings section without using a mushroom in 200cc. I can't tell you how long I've waited to be able to do that. Plus, at the end of that section, there's a new gap cut, which is pretty much required in 200cc in order to actually traverse that area, because those turns do not work in 200. When I woke up, the first thing I saw was the Wave 6 trailer. And when I heard this course's theme, it nearly brought a tear to my eye. They made this absolutely perfect. I have no complaints with this course, and I am so glad that they gave us the perfect finale for this game. Now the only question that remains is, which one is better, Wii or 3DS Rainbow Road? If you want that answer, you're just gonna have to wait for my full course ranking. We didn't just get these 8 courses, though. For the big finale, of course Nintendo had to give us a little bit more. We went in expecting only 2 characters, but nope, Nintendo gave us 4. Pauline and Funky Kong, who, let's be honest, we all knew these 2 were coming, as well as Diddy Kong and the surprise of Peachette. Very mixed reactions on that one, but hey, I'm not complaining. There were also the 17 new Mii costumes, which I don't think I was expecting that many. I think, if anything, I would have maybe expected 1 or 2 Mii costumes, but nope, they really overdid it. And they even gave us an in-game music player. Sure, it has its quirks, like, no pause button, but it's better than nothing. And to hammer home that this really is the end of Mario Kart 8, they had to give us a second set of credits, which, I gotta say, such a nice theme. Before I hop into some quick end-of-video updates, let's take a look at these course scores, shall we? Weakest of the bunch this time around are still solid 7 out of 10s for me. Those being Rosalina's Ice World, DK Mountain, and Daisy Circuit. Nice courses in their own right, but when compared to the rest of 8 Deluxe's lineup, they just don't do too much to stand out. For 8 out of 10s, we've only got one this time around. That is going to be Rome Avanti. A pretty nice city course, which I feel isn't bad, it's just that everything else is that much better. For 9 out of 10s, we have Madrid Drive and Piranha Plant Cove. Now, I think all 3 of the tour courses we got were incredible, and yet they still don't even reach the peaks of this wave. I can't believe I'm saying this, but 10 out of 10 for SNES Bowser Castle 3. It still amazes me that an SNES course is this good. Now, I know during the Wave 4 review I said an 11 out of 10 is a very rare score from me, but come on. Do you really expect Wii Rainbow Road to get anything less? And there we have it. Wave 6 of the Booster Course Pass is done, and so is Mario Kart 8, finally. Yeah, sure, the Booster Course Pass had a bit of a rough start, but I think they managed to pull off a pretty successful ending. Now for a few quick updates. I know I previously stated that I was going to go back and review every wave of the Booster Course Pass, but I don't think I'm going to do the first half anymore. The first 2 waves, I'm going to be honest, those videos would be fairly negative, and I don't really feel like spreading negativity, it's not my style. Wave 3, I just don't really feel like it, I have other things I want to do instead. One of those things being a full review of the entire Booster Course Pass. So when I do that, I'll touch a little bit more on the first 3 waves there, because they didn't get their own dedicated videos. Before that, though, I'm going to be releasing just a pretty quick theory video about something I think happened with Wave 6. Sure, it doesn't matter now, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty fun theory, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. After the Booster Course Pass review, I'm going to be doing a video going over changes that I would have made to the Booster Course Pass to, well, fix it, at least in my eyes. And like I mentioned earlier, I do eventually plan on doing a full ranking of all 96 courses, and that will be happening live on stream sometime in early 2024. I don't really have a date for that yet. But hey, if you want to stay updated on that and other stuff I've got going on, why not join the Discord? It's the best way to keep up with what I'm doing. Link is in the description. And while you're at it, why not subscribe too? It only takes 1 click and it really helps me out. And that's really all I've got to say. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this journey through the Booster Course Pass, as it has been a lot of fun, and I will see you guys next time.